Listen more often to things than to deeds. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Listen more often to things than to deeds. Listen more often to things than to deeds. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Listen more often to things than to deeds. Listen more often to things than to deeds. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. know that day and night. Be still and know that dark and light are one holy circle. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that dark and light are one holy circle. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that dark and light are one holy circle. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that dark and light are one holy circle. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that dark and light are one holy circle. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that day and night are one. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that dark and light are one. Be still and know that day and night. Be still and know that day and night. Are one.
We sat in the cafeteria with its bright fluorescent lights, its wobbly chairs, the sticky floor, and the smell of chili, tomato soup, and fried tofu. Students looking for tables or getting their backpacks to take off for class. My lunch partner and I had made our way across the sticky floor to a Formica table. We felt more at home in the cafeteria than we did in the distinguished faculty up above. Marilyn is famous in my profession, so I wanted to impress her. I wanted to brag a bit. And I said, my friend and I are going to run a women's group on sexuality. Marilyn asked me how we were going to start. And I wiggled as straight as I could be in my posture, and I said, we'll start by each telling our story. She leaned back in her chair. She looked me straight in the eye, and she said, matter-of-factly, you don't know your story yet. I've thought a lot about that story over the years. I have some stories that I'm really loyal to. I hold them tightly in my fist, even when they don't fit anymore. We each have our own stories and our own perspectives, and we make meaning out of our stories in our own way. But like Marilyn says, we don't know our stories all by ourselves. The dirt, the trees, the mushrooms, the waterways, the winds, all communicate and listen to each other. We are part of the ecosystem, and we also listen to one another. Listening to ourselves, listening to each other. Coming to church opens us to learning together. From this nurturing of one another, we can grow together. Welcome. Take a moment to notice your breath. Breathe in the love and some pride for who you are today, how far you've come, the person you've grown to be. Now breathe out. With it, let go of who you're not yet. Listen for the sound of the unknown tomorrow. Lean into the person you're soon to become. Love this part of you too. As you become more aware of your body, breathing in and breathing out, I invite you to think about how you want to grow today. What are you listening for when you close your eyes and open your attention? Make the answer your hope, your plan, your prayer. And let's all hold this together with 3 meaningful breaths. Peace and inspiration, wonder and possibility, each of those is calling us. They're waiting in the familiar places and in the places we'd never thought to look. Let's start today's spiritual journey. I'm Nancy Potter, and I'm one of your worship associates. I'm joined in leading our service by Reverend Arif and Dr. Glenn Thomas. We're grateful to the community of people, the greeters, the creatives and the thinkers, the teachers and the leaders, the quiet companions and the helpers. Each one who has helped us make our service and help our service come alive today. I'd like to invite Astrid to light the flame of our chalice. And let the words of our covenant rekindle our connections and make the way of community clear. Together we say, love is the spirit of our church, and service is our law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We are called to love ourselves and each other as we are. Together, we give, we receive, we grow the blessings of our beloved community in our hearts, now and always. Welcome. Let's begin.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love
there is more love somewhere, more peace, more room to breathe. In my everyday, one of the things that happens in my mind is a big word. It's called anxiety. Anyone ever heard of it? Okay. Who knows what anxiety is? Just a rough guess. Yeah. What is it? What does it feel like? What would you say it is? Oh, yes, that. Yes. Fear. I heard fear. Paralyzing. Yes. Okay. Fight or flight. Feels stressful sometimes. Yes. A spiral. Oh, yes. Yet sometimes you can look just like this, perfectly calm in public and speaking before all sorts of people, and in the inside you can feel like, oh, at the same time. This happens to me every day. It used to happen a whole lot worse. But now I've discovered a secret. And anybody can use it. If you ever feel that feeling on the inside, it's breathing. It has changed my life. I'm telling you, you have to try this breathing thing. It's really... You simply, instead of breathing like normal, where we go on about our day and don't even think about it, this kind of breathing is paying attention to your breathing. That means when you breathe in, you know that you are breathing in. And when you breathe out, you know that you are breathing out. Would you try it with me? Breathing in, just to breathe in. Breathing out, just to breathe out. Y'all, it only takes 3 minutes to change your whole day. 3 breaths even, to turn anxiety into your power. Don't take my word for it. This is one of the ways that the body, when we have this feeling, is telling us, hey, I need to tell you something. I want you to hear something. I want you to hear something. And it's not always real. Sometimes we fear things and we don't need to be afraid. But in this case, when your body wants to listen, the best thing I've learned to do is to do just that. To listen. To breathe and listen to yourself breathe. So, our prayer today takes the form of listening. I'm going to strike one bell, and what I'd love for you to do is listen for the sound of the bell. When you no longer hear the sound of the bell, would you raise your hand? Does it make sense? Any questions? Okay. This is going to happen 3 times, and I welcome you to prepare your body for the space. So get in a comfortable place. Maybe there's something in your shoulder that needs a little relaxing so that your ears can pay attention. This is what they say prayer is, opening your ears. Okay. Away we go. Wonderful. Here's a second bell. Would you strike? And here's the third and final one. Would you listen closely? Many days, our minds, our bodies, our spirits are ringing message bells in our minds. They want us to hear deeper things, new things. They want us to learn more about ourselves and the universe around us. When the bell rings inside your mind, asking you to pay attention, remember, you can always pause and breathe and listen. More often to things than to beings, 'tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Sigh. Whoosh. In the quiet hush of this community, we're joined together, and we have a special practice in the middle of our services where, if you would like to share something that's going on in your life, some truth, some news, a joy, a concern, something you don't know about, something you're afraid about, the community will listen to you and will hold these things with you. Sometimes the joy, sometimes the fear is too much to handle alone. Or sometimes we just don't want to. We can hold it together. On behalf of your community, I invite you to share out loud, if you like. Type it, if you like. Place your hand over your heart and be silent, if you like, and we will see you. The circle is open. Joy in the children of this church. Thank you.
Using mindful
for mindful consumption as an act of resistance.
I really want snow.
For the prayer of snow. I love it. You spoke to a lot of hearts just then. One more time, please. Recovering from COVID.
Scared for what this warmth means.
Fear for what this warmth means, I heard. For those who are not with us. Holiday travelers and traveling. For holiday travelers and traveling. Yes.
My concern is I'm still hearing the bell.
Ah. Wow. That's not a concern. You should become a conductor. Someone in the back is still hearing the bell, for those who didn't hear that.
My concern is that the magical white flakes of snow are not falling from the air.
Yeah, someone else shares your prayer. The magical snowflakes from the air are not falling. Or they're not sticking with us. Yes. I have a joy. My 18-year-old little sister, who was just a newborn yesterday, took her senior portraits in high school. We don't know where the time went.
I'm thinking of my mother who will be doing the holidays without her mother for the first time.
For your mother and for all mothers, for our ancestors who are mothers. And our love and care is with Mary Sorensen. Let me add this prayer. Mary is currently in rehab awaiting the okay to go home after a long hospitalization. Mary appreciates our care and our well wishes and our prayers for a speedy return to her home. And we rejoice with Jess Lyons and Jeff Narr on the birth of baby Jack. The whole family appreciates our care and celebration with them, especially big siblings Jules and Josie. Ooh, Jess, Jeff, Jack, Jules, and Josie. That's the first time I saw that. I love it when that happens. For all of these reasons to pray, these joys, these concerns, these mysteries in the light and darkness of our lives, we add our community's presence. And for those of us who are leading, we pray for guidance. For our world that is hurting, we pray for healing. For our bodies and our souls, when they are captive, may they be free. And may all of us be led to give and receive and grow the blessing of beloved community, now and always. Breathe with me. Because we are alive, there's reason to rejoice. Amen. Spirit of life,
there's a whole bunch of y'all who are not sitting in your usual places. First I thought it was just the lighting, but no. And this is, yeah, you know who you are. I see you smirking back there, some of you. It's really confusing. Like, am I in the right church? This is what a 10 a.m. service looks like, huh? And while we're on that topic, this is what multiculturalism looks like. I can make that joke. Y'all can't make that joke. So we gather. It's okay, y'all. Maybe I should take the hat off. Okay. I really appreciate how many of us are decked out in festive attire. I'm so sorry. My daughter's over there cringing inside so badly right now. You know, today, this service is about, we're continuing our month on listening deeply. And we gather on Sundays to have a shared experience, right? That's what worship is. It is our congregational shared spiritual practice. One of the things that we get together to experience, so if we count it off so far, right, we have experienced listening to our bodies. We have experienced listening to listening. We have experienced listening to each other as we sing together. And in just a moment, we are going to pay attention. We are going to listen for the experience of generosity as we give and receive this morning's offering. Because this is an all-in Sunday, we wanted to be sure that anyone who wanted to pay special attention to the experience of generosity, the experience of giving, had the opportunity to do so. And so our ushers are equipped, if you would like to be part of this practice, and particularly our youth, but anyone, with dollar bills that they are happy to distribute to you so that you can pay attention to the experience of giving by putting that dollar into the offering basket as it goes past. So if you would like to be part of this very deliberate practice of generosity, for what it feels like in our bodies to give, just raise your hand. The ushers are walking around, and they will give you $1 that you can put in the basket as the basket comes past so that you may pay attention to that experience. Did I miss a pun?
Yeah, you said pay attention. Come on. You said it twice.
I got confused. I'm off my game because people are sitting in different places. I lost the dad joke. All right, thank you. And so it looks like we are all equipped as we would like to be. And so here's our invitation as we listen to our offertory, as the baskets come around. Here's my invitation to you. Take a moment. Let the moment slow down as you hold that basket in your hands. Pay attention to what it feels like to put your contribution in the basket. If you are not making a contribution, no worries. Hold in your hands the symbol of the generosity of this congregation, feel what that feels like. Put in a blessing if you would like. This applies to those of you that are online as well. And in this way, we can pay attention, no pun this time, we can notice what this act of generosity feels like, knowing that this morning our contributions go to support Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, an organization that we partner with who is building housing, who is working to bring forth theological voices of Black folks in Unitarian Universalism that have not been heard, who are working to create space within Unitarian Universalism that we might realize more fully the home that we could be for Black folks in our congregations and beyond. And so I invite you to give as generously as you are moved this morning. I invite the ushers to come forward.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to talk to you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the hollow of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp. My eyes were stabbed by the flash of neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. The sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophet are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, whispered in the sound of silence.
with the mood lighting in the sanctuary today. It's a little difficult to see the clock back there, but if I'm keeping track of time, I want to invite us to spend some time going even deeper into the practice of listening. This time, listening very intentionally to ourselves. I'm going to set a timer up here. I'll ring a bell so we know to start listening. And when my timer goes off, I will ring the bell again so that we all know to bring our attention back to the sanctuary. The timer will be set for 3 minutes, not long. About as much time as it takes to brew a cup of tea. If you are new to listening to yourself, here's how I want to invite you to listen for these 3 minutes. You can listen to your breath, which we have already practiced. Just noticing how the breath moves in and out. You can listen to your body. Maybe notice where your body is making contact with the pew. Maybe notice if there is a breeze that you feel on the back of your neck, the feeling of your shirt on your arms. You can, if you want, listen to yourself by paying attention to hearing or seeing. Just noticing that these things happen without your doing anything. When you're aware of it, you can note it by saying to yourself, this is seeing being known. This is sound being known. So I invite you to just gently follow that, to choose the option that is right and safe for you this morning. I also want you to know that as you are concentrating on these things, your mind will notice other things. Your mind will get distracted by them. That is totally normal and totally okay. When it happens, just gently bring your mind back to whatever you were concentrating on. In this space, in this morning, I want to invite you in particular to consider working with sound. We have absolutely no control over the sounds that happen, that we receive. They just happen. And they can be a wonderful gateway into listening to ourselves and to what's happening in this moment. My invitation to you, whether this is easy or hard, is to stay with whatever you have picked to pay attention to stay there as long as that is safe for you. That if things ever feel unsafe, to just stop and do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And with that, we will do this together for 3 minutes. I will ring the bell again to bring us back into the sanctuary. So now that we've had a few moments of listening to ourselves, I invite you to turn to someone sitting next to you and to share in a few words, first one and then the other, what that was like for you. Try to stay with feeling words if you can. Try to slow down and take your time. I'll offer a few moments for the first person, then ask you to switch, then a few moments for the next person, and then I will bring us back together. This is an opportunity to practice listening deeply to ourselves, to give someone else the gift of our deep listening. As always, if what you are most wanting this morning is time for yourself, just place a hand over your chest, over your heart, and we will know to allow you to continue in the silence that you hold with yourself. Please take a moment to share with someone else. If you have not already switched, or if perhaps you got carried away, if there is one of you who has not had an opportunity to share, please do so. And I invite you to come back. All right, dear ones, please wrap it up. You can continue in the social hall in 5 minutes. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hang on. My mind is trying to do something out here. Bring it back. So this practice that we just did together, this practice of paying attention. Paying attention to breath, paying attention to body, paying attention to what's happening in here. Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it is excruciatingly challenging. But here's what we want you to know. It felt really important in this month of listening deeply to spend some time together in this practice of paying attention, this practice which some people call meditation. It is a practice that many in this community have found really helps to quiet down inside so that we can listen to what's really happening. What's really happening in here? What's really happening out in the wider world? There is a lot of noise in this world that we live in. As we just saw, even sitting in a room where we are trying to be silent, there is noise that happens. We have no control over that. Never mind that we live in a world of cell phones and social media and all of those other things that keep us busy. There's a lot of noise out there, and some of us have gotten so used to this noise that when it starts to get quiet, we make more noise to distract ourselves with. There's no shame in this, by the way. Like, this is not a finger pointing at anyone except maybe myself. I just spent a week on silent retreat, and I learned a whole lot about how uncomfortable I get when it's quiet. When I take away all the stuff, the phones, the talking, the looking at other people, all of that. So there is absolutely no finger pointing here. Rather, an invitation to notice that if we get uncomfortable when we are sitting in silence, that this is not a good recipe for being able to listen deeply. Not to ourselves and not to each other. When we are so used to filling space with noise that distracts us, it's hard to know what's happening in here. And so that really is the invitation. As my colleague, Dr. Glenn Thomas, said, it doesn't have to be a big thing. 3 minutes, like we just shared. If you are a tea drinker, this is probably how much time your tea bag is sitting in your teacup. If you are a coffee drinker, this is probably about how much time it takes for enough coffee to hit the bottom of the pot for you to pour a cup that doesn't taste bad. It doesn't have to be a lot. So my invitation, particularly in a season with so much noise, so much distraction, is to try this. Try it this week. Make space in your life for 3 to 5 breaths, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, listening to yourself. And after you build up a little bit of stamina doing that, because let's face it, 3 minutes can be a long time. After you build up a little confidence doing that, knowing that those 3 minutes of silence are more or less okay, try taking that time before you sit down to really listen to someone in your life that you care about. If you want a really edgy practice, try it when you sit down to listen to someone in your life that you don't really care about. Serious. What I think you might find, what I hope you might find, is that it becomes easier and easier to drop into a place of presence, a place of awareness. I think what you might also find after about a week is that your heart feels a little bit lighter, because those moments of paying attention are also moments where our hearts can release some of the extra stuff that they're carrying around. So, dear ones, let's keep practicing together. Let's practice in our everyday lives in the hope that with better attention to ourselves and to each other, we might do less harm, find ways to give and receive love with generosity and ease, and become more able to offer kindness to ourselves, to each other, and to the wider world. May it be so.
Oh, yeah. You gotta keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. Will you sing it with me? You gotta keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. I hear some voices looking for permission to say, you gotta keep, absolutely, your heart, yes, wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. Next part goes like this. You gotta keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Will you sing the whole thing with me? You gotta keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. You gonna let me snap by myself? You gotta keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Will you rise? Let's sing one more time. You gotta keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. Whoa, you gotta keep your heart, yes, wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Okay, this one last time, I need some help with the second part. Keep your heart open. 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 Keep going, keep going. You gotta keep your heart wide open. For the waves wanna push you around. Well, you gotta keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. Your heart open, keep your heart open.
Dear ones, as you go forth, may you keep your heart open. May we keep our hearts open. May we practice listening deeply to ourselves, listening deeply to each other, knowing and living the miracle that we know this life to be, the blessing that we get to live it, and the gift to be a blessing to others out in the world. May you go in peace, remembering that where you go, we will go.